nigga shot the club up, nigga. And then, niggas trying to send him some Jordans and some weed and trying to play funny. Bow! He shot niggas. Yo, that nigga bust his guns. So I believe him.
I think you should just stay in your place, brother. You shouldn't even speak on that type of lifestyle because you're not living that type of lifestyle.
A club got shot up, and then someone tried to send Jordans and some weed, trying to play funny, but it backfired. He got shot at, though luckily the gums jammed, so I believe him. Honestly, you should just stay in your lane and not speak on that lifestyle if you're not living it. What started as a simple tweet about leaving the streets behind is now escalated into something serious, with Pooh Shiesty allegedly sending his goons after Blueface. When rappers with real street ties and actual gang connections clash, things can get deadly fast. These aren't just guys rapping about the streets, they really live it. And when real street figures with crews behind them start beefing on social media, history shows it rarely stays online. To understand how we got here, we have to look back at 21 Savage and his controversial The Streets movement, which sent shockwaves through the rap community. During his promo run for his latest album, 21 tweeted a few words that sparked a chain reaction across the rap game. But this wasn't just a random moment of clarity. 21 had a calculated plan, and it was all about business. 21 Savage was trying to get the city's biggest names to squash their beefs and fix their problems, specifically targeting the young thug and gunner situation that had been tearing the city apart. What's wild is how fake the industry really is. Record labels, media outlets, and industry figures who previously tried to blackball Gunner by calling him a rat were suddenly eager to work with him again, all because they saw him pulling in millions of streams without them. 21 knew exactly what he was doing with that tweet, positioning himself as the peacemaker and voice of reason, while promoting his album and potentially landing a lucrative Gunner collaboration. It was smart business disguised as street wisdom, and it worked, getting everybody talking about 21 right as his album dropped. That's when Pooh Shiesty jumped on the bandwagon, posting on Instagram, "The Streets Too," which shocked people because his whole career was built on street credibility in Memphis, a city notorious for its violence. Pooh wasn't just rapping about the streets, he lived it, led it, and profited from it. His post sent shockwaves through his crew and confused his fan base. Blueface wasn't having it. The California rapper saw what was happening and called out the trend-following rappers on social media, exposing their hypocrisy. He pointed out that most of these artists who were suddenly saying "fuck the streets" had built careers and fan bases on street credibility. Blueface's message was clear. You can't flip on the streets just because it's trendy, and blindly following 21 Savage made these rappers look fake to their own people. At first, Pooh Shiesty completely ignored Blueface's disses, posting as if nothing happened and giving no acknowledgement. But the signs of tension were there if you looked closely. Pooh started sharing stories of him playing Call of Duty with NLE Choppa, and anyone familiar with the scene knows NLE Choppa and Blueface have a long-standing beef tied to real street politics. This isn't just music rivalry, there's real animosity rooted in disrespect and territorial issues. By publicly associating with NLE Choppa, Pooh was making a clear message that he was picking sides, and it wasn't Blueface's side. Those gaming sessions weren't casual. In the streets, who you roll with sends powerful signals, and Pooh was making his alignment obvious without saying a word. For weeks, the situation stayed quiet, and fans assumed it would fade like most social media beefs. But everything changed when Pooh posted another Instagram story that flipped the narrative completely. Instead of saying "fuck the streets," he declared "I am the streets," reclaiming his identity and doubling down on his gangster persona. The post featured hard imagery and music to reinforce that he wasn't backing down. This move showed everyone that Pooh Shiesty was either responding to pressure from his crew for appearing soft or setting up something bigger, demonstrating just how calculated and high-stakes street politics can be when you're leading a gang of 70 members. When you lead a gang with dozens of members and start talking about leaving the streets, it can create major issues within your organization. Gang members don't want to hear their leader considering a legitimate path while they're still risking their lives and freedom for the crew. Pooh Shiesty's "I am the streets" post was a way to reassert his position, reassure his gang, and send a message to his enemies that he was still the same dangerous figure they knew. At the same time, it made him look indecisive and weak to outsiders who saw him flip-flopping. Blueface, however, was was paying close attention and refused to let it slide. He took to Twitter immediately, posting, "Nah, dog, we seen what you said already. The streets are traumatized, buddy." That tweet was a layered insult, calling out Pooh for being wishy-washy while questioning his mental state, leadership, and authenticity. For someone who built a career on fearlessness and claiming to be the CEO of a major gang, the jab cut deep. The tweet went viral, sparking reactions from fans and other rappers, with many agreeing that Blueface had exposed the hypocrisy and challenged Pooh Shiesty's credibility in a very public way. While some felt Blueface was stirring unnecessary drama, most didn't realize this had escalated beyond typical rap beef into real street politics playing out on social media. Blueface's tweet calling Pooh Shiesty traumatized demonstrated that he had been watching every move, recalling the original "Fuck the Streets" post and calling out the contradiction when Pooh flipped to "I am the streets." In street culture, silence doesn't mean calm. It often signals planning. And with Pooh Shiesty running Choa Gang in Memphis, a city with one of the highest murder rates in the country, and commanding over 70 members known for handling disrespect, the stakes are real. These aren't studio gangsters. They're hardened street soldiers who earn their stripes. Publicly questioning the leader's mental state and authority is a severe insult that can't go unanswered without seeming weak to one's own people. Both Blueface and Pooh Shiesty have real street credibility and connections, making this volatile. Industry insiders report movement behind the scenes, with whispers of potential threats, though nothing has been confirmed. The situation reflects a familiar, dangerous pattern. Social media disrespect between rappers with real street ties rarely stays online and can escalate into real-world consequences. The difference between regular rap beef and this situation is that both Pooh Shiesty and Blueface have real organizations behind them, ready to act if their leaders are disrespected, turning what started as 21 Savage promoting his album and encouraging rappers to leave the streets alone into a dangerous conflict between two real street figures. The irony is striking. A movement meant to reduce street violence has potentially created more of it. Pooh Shiesty's flip from saying "fuck the streets" to "I am the streets" reflects the pressure he faced from his own crew. As a gang leader, discussing leaving the life can be perceived as weak or abandoning his people. He had to reaffirm his position to maintain control, but that gave Blueface ammunition to publicly question his authenticity. Now neither side can back down without losing face. Blueface can't retract his words without looking weak, and Pooh Shiesty can't ignore the disrespect without undermining his authority with Choa Gang. This type of standoff often leads to tragedy in hip-hop, as pride and street reputation override logic, with talented young men risking their lives over social media and street politics. Fans and industry observers hope it doesn't escalate to violence, but with real street figures and organized crews involved, the likelihood of the conflict staying online is slim, and history shows these situations rarely de-escalate on their own. The saddest part is that both these men have talent and potential, yet their pride and affiliations could put everything at risk. Pooh Shiesty and Blueface both have the potential to thrive in the music industry without relying on street politics. Pooh Shiesty has built a solid career with hit songs and a growing fan base, while Blueface has proven he can create viral moments and stay relevant in a competitive industry. But once pride and street reputation enter the equation, all that potential can vanish in an instant. This is exactly why 21 Savage said the streets in the first place. That lifestyle and mentality often lead to destruction. The streets don't care about rap careers, record deals, or potential. They only value respect and retaliation, and that cycle rarely ends well. All anyone can do is watch and hope both sides realize they have too much to lose to let things escalate further. However, knowing how these situations usually unfold when real street politics are involved, this could turn into a dangerous ride. The streets are talking, and if Pooh Shiesty mobilizes his crew against Blueface, the situation could quickly become deadly.